All right. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Military Retirement Podcast. John, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I think I got massive delays. I think that's what's happening here.
Massive delays. Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that the video looks a little bit pixelated too, but I mean, we'll get
Yeah.
it through. We'll get through it. We already got some folks in the chat here. GC Jarhead. Yeah, we met last night, I think, over at Raider HQs, and you jumped over to the Green Logbook side too. Yeah, great stuff, man. Had made a lot of great connections yesterday, and that's what it's all about: networking with fellow veterans, things like that. So, what do we have on our plate today, John?
We are going to be talking about a lot of things. So this is a guest we had on the show a couple months ago, and we were hoping to get him back a couple weeks ago. We had to do some rescheduling, and we are going to be diving into a lot of things, moving from active duty to federal, getting some buyback time, the FERS, the CSRS, gray area retirement topics as well. I know a bunch of people have asked me recently in the last couple of weeks. I've been chiming in.
Oh, I think we lost John. He'll come back to us at some point in time. But yeah, we're going to be talking a lot about things I had no idea existed. Like buyback, FERS, CSRS, active duty to federal employee buyback. I knew that existed, but I just am not well versed in it. So when I'm not well versed in something, we bring in somebody who is. So on to the channel, I'm going to bring up Michel. Joe, we just lost John, but I'm certain he's fighting and clawing his way back.
Yeah, I saw that. Thanks for having me back on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So yeah, I'm very curious about this stuff because I don't know much about it. I mean, if you could just kind of give me a rundown on exactly like what CSRS and FERS is, at least for the audience who may also be wondering the same thing.
Sure. So yeah, that would really help put things in context. So in the federal government, civil servants have two retirement systems, right? Now, up until 1986, right? So this is getting in the way back machine a little bit. There was one retirement system for all civil servants, and that was the CSRS, the Civil Service Retirement System, right? And very similar to your active duty retirement, it was a high three system, right? We're not talking about the blended retirement system that they've got now for service members, and given your length of service, 20, 30 years or greater, you would get a certain percentage of your high three average income. And so it was pretty generous. If you put 30 years in, you could expect 75% of your high three.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
With a very, 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 very low out of pocket, out of your paycheck contribution for that. Right. So Ronnie Reagan came in 1986 and decided, oh, okay, well, that's a little too generous. We're going to save some money for the Fed. And under his administration, FERS was created. Now, something that FERS introduced that CSRS did not have was the thrift savings plan. It's a 401k. Used to be, it had a limited number of funds. More funds got added over time that you could choose from. But the big three were that you had the general fund, and then you had the C fund. And the G fund really was based on government bonds, right? Government bonds. So low interest, low risk, steady Eddie, maybe 4 to 5% on your T-bills or whatever. And then the C fund was directly indexed to the S&P 500, right? So that was a little riskier, but much better rate of return. I think it's averaged 9% since 1945. So that's pretty good. You had some really up years, some really down years, but on the whole, 9%, that beats a sharp stick in the eye, right? And then some other funds were added over time. You had your S fund, which is your small and mid cap stock indexes, think Russell 2000, and then your I, which is internationally indexed, like your FTSE, for instance, in the UK, and so on, the Nikkei in Japan. So FERS gave you some more options, but what it took away was that generous annuity. So what you wound up getting under FERS, you got your 401k with an employer match up to 5%, right?
Mm-hmm.
You put in 5, you get 5. You don't do that, you're leaving money on the table, right?
Yeah.
But what they took away was that generous percentage of your high 3. So still a high 3 system, but you only get roughly 1% a year. Well, really works out to about 1.1%. So you put in that same 30 years, you're getting 33 back instead of 75%, right? You're getting 33% of your high 3, but you're backstopped by your TSP. So if you did a good job with your TSP, you're probably going to be fine. Now, there's something else that goes along with FERS that CSRS also had, but there was an offset. So Social Security is a key component of FERS. So you collect your full Social Security benefits. Doesn't detract from any of your FERS earnings whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
CSRS, there was an offset, right? So up to a certain income, it would actually start to reduce your entitlement under CSRS by a certain percentage. And I wasn't really prepared to speak to those exact numbers today, since I've been a FERS employee ever since I've been in. So.
Oh, no worries, man. No worries.
But that broadly sets the stage of the two retirement systems that we're talking about.
Yeah, that gives me a great rundown, man. Well, I appreciate that.
Sure.
John, you still on, or?
I'm on. I'm back. Am I on? Can you hear me?
Good.
Can you see me?
We got you. 5 by 5.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's an internet connection. Maybe I need to reboot my computer 3 times. I only rebooted it once.
Technology.
Yeah, so it's great to have you back either way. I just want to say something real quick. You're like the Tim Ferriss of the Army. You've got so much knowledge. The way you talk, the way you speak, you're eloquent with your words. Really, really smart dude, and that's why I like you. And that's why we've been friends for so long, I think.
Yeah.
But I do want to throw one other thing out there just for folks who are following along. Since we're talking about retirement stuff, there is the kind of NAF path, which is a non-appropriated funds retirement, and that's completely separate from any of these as well. Hopefully that bill that they're trying to get passed, or at least trying to get some traction on in Congress, will soon allow us, people who have retired from the military, to then go back into the TSP and start contributing back into that and be able to participate in that. But there is also a NAF path, which we don't really have to dive down too much. It depends on how many folks out there are NAF, and I don't think a lot of folks are NAF. But that is also another option retirement wise. But just to jump in with a
lost him again.
He meant just to jump out, is what I think he meant.
Yeah, that's what he really meant.
Man, okay. We'll get him situated at some point. Hazing will commence soon. No, but
diss on your sister service there.
No, but he's right, because you have so much knowledge about this stuff. I don't know this. I was only a federal employee for probably half a year.
Yeah.
And I went through classes on this stuff on FERS and FEGLI, I think it's called.
FEGLI. Yeah, Federal Employees Government Life Insurance.
Yeah. Yeah. And then right after I left the federal employment, I got a text from one of the ladies there. She was a former GS-14, and she was my mentor, right? I guess I was a supervisor, but I had never been in federal service, so they assigned her as one of my mentors. And she texted me, "Hey, did you request your FEGLI since I left the service?" And I had contributed toward it. I'm like, "What does that mean?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, you get a refund. You can ask for a refund. Get the SF50. Once we send it over to you, you can ask for a refund if you don't if you're not going to come back into service."
That's a thing.
I didn't know that was a thing. Cool. Let me check it out. So I'm in the process of doing all that right now, but there's so much that goes into it.
Yeah.
Going into federal service, I had no idea, man. Like I was bombarded with classes when
Yeah.
I
And
when
there's
I
so much,
stepped into.
the sad thing is there's so much that they don't teach, you know, they,
Mhm.
they you're drinking from a fire hose to absorb all that knowledge when you first come on board. But
Yeah.
there's
Oh,
so much that
absolutely.
they just don't tell you about, like what I want to talk about today, in fact.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
So
don't you don't know about this stuff. You have to, it's like discovery learning. It really is. No
no,
kidding.
you don't. You don't. And I'm curious about the buyback as well, because I'm kind of currently going through it with my wife's side. She's a GS, and we've talked about it. I don't know how it works. I know that you purchase your time served already while active duty, and
Mhm.
towards retirement, I think it is. If
That's
you, I mean,
correct.
if you, I'm sure you can explain a lot better than that, but
I can give you, yeah, actually, that's a nice segue because that's exactly what I'm here to talk about today. So,
yeah,
um, oh, is John coming back? It looked like he was coming back for. Oh, there he is. He's
he's got
back.
one toe in, one toe out.
I tell you what,
Technically.
wonderful days like this when you're a technologist and your technology doesn't want to work.
Do you even signal,
Yeah.
bro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just feel like I'm doing army signal right now. I had no idea what I was going to say. I was going to ask you a question, and it's pertaining to, so as I was trying to say before I got zapped by the internet gods, you had reached out and you were like, yeah, I hit this point, getting closer to my retirement. We had the conversations before, and you're like, I've discovered a bunch of new stuff. I just want to ask, was there something that triggered that beyond the fact that you're getting closer to retirement, or was there like something that popped up on your radar, email
Well,
wise, or somebody tipped you
yes. Well,
off?
no. So a couple of things I'll offer up by in the way of explanation. So yeah, part of it getting closer to retirement, but then the other notion here is um, I like to pay things forward. So if I'm it's part of being a retired warrant, right? So
Yep.
we like to share the knowledge, share the wealth. So I like to pay things forward. I learned something, and I might be able to help out folks who are maybe years from retirement, or maybe they're getting close, like me, who can benefit from it. Then yeah, absolutely. But um, I was talking to my career coach, probably the best one I ever had, my lovely wife, who prompted me to come on and share the wealth. First off, the first time around, you guys had me on the gray area retirees um, podcast, and then this one here, which is the post 56 military buyback. And so, yeah, that's really what spurred me on to come on today.
Was there anything you've learned since the last time we talked as far as the gray area stuff? Was there any kind of information that maybe bubbled up to the top?
It works. It works fantastic. I think I advised folks during the last podcast to get with your retirement services officer.
Yep.
And get your records updated. If you're Compo 2, Compo 3, that's Army, Guard Reserve, and get your points right. And if you've got time, either deployments or particular Title 10 service, that will reduce your retirement age, then get that credited. That's crucial. I learned about it late. I had been fighting the battle with the retirement services officer. Probably for a few years after I rolled off active duty. But yeah, we got a good one finally in my state, and we got everything all squared away. And I will tell you this: between DFAS and HRC, they were on it. They were absolutely on it. I got that first check less than 30 days out.
Wow.
It was waiting in my box on the first day of the next month, and direct deposit kicked right in. So they were completely on it. So if you're entitled, yeah, don't wait. You'll be losing money.
Yeah.
So the other thing that I wanted to come on and talk about today is not anything that I've learned since the last podcast, but something that I've known about for some time. But now it's getting a lot more important since I'm getting closer, right? I'm still a few years off, but it's important to get this stuff bought back, because if you can, so that you don't get caught short. I had a colleague some years ago. She thought she had her military time credited, and it turned out that she did not, and that delayed her retirement for a few years, and she was not happy.
Wow.
So if I could spare anybody that pain, I definitely would.
Yeah. It's, I mean, it happens on the active duty side too, as well, right? People, I mean, initially when me and Vic met and we started talking more to folks and having more folks on and digging in deeper into some of these questions, we had a lot of folks coming in the back end through messages, through chats. People were calling and texting Vic, calling and texting me and saying, hey, look, I got 3 months left before I'm supposed to retire. Like, what do I need to do? Like, you need to go back 18 months and start over.
Yeah, you're late. Yeah, very late. Yeah.
You should buy our book, and you should watch the military retirement podcast.
Now, in retrospect.
Get in the time machine, yeah.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, there's a lot of folks like that.
Yeah.
It sneaks up on you in a lot of ways, I think.
It does. It does. And then so the active duty to federal employee buyback, I think you were just about to get into that, and I'm very curious about how that works.
Sure. So this is another one of those things that I was telling you about, Vic, that they don't teach you about this stuff when you're onboarding. It's discovery learning. So, and that's a shame. That really is a shame. But if I help even one person out with this podcast, get their stuff bought back and get that time credited, well, then it's worth it. Okay, so here's how it goes. So it's called post 56 military buyback, and it's called that because it counts anytime after December 31st, 1956. Active duty time is creditable toward your federal civil service career. Now, how does it work? So it's year for year purchase, right? And it's predicated on your earnings while you were on active duty. So for the two retirement systems that we summed up at the top end of this podcast, CSRS and FERS. For FERS, the nominal deposit is 3% of your earnings for every year while you were on active duty. For CSRS, it's more expensive because their annuity is more generous, right? That's 7%. Depending upon how long you waited, there is some nominal interest that they might stack on top of that. It's not much though in the context of what you're getting. So I'll give you an example. And this is I actually helped out a colleague of mine some years ago do this. So he was Combo 3, he was Army Reserve, and he had not retired, but he did 10 years and he got out as a lieutenant colonel. So that's the tricky piece here, right? You have to have either retired or separated at the rank of 05 or below to be able to do this. So that's a caveat. He had 10 years of service in. He didn't know that he could do this. So I explained the process to him. And I'll get into more details here in a minute, but he bought back 10 years. He put in 10 years and retired with his 20. Boom. Just like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, you could, I mean, when you do the calculations, you can pay it off lump sum, or you can do it a monthly allotment, even as low as like $25 coming out of your check. But, just depends upon how much it's going to cost you. So here's the tricky part. So I'll just talk to how it works in my particular department. I'm an Army civilian. This will vary between different branches, the different departments across the federal government. But for all defense, all the services, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to get your estimated earnings. That's the first thing that you have to do. So you put together all your DD-214s, and you fill out a form called the RI 20-97, right? And then you send that off to DFAS. And all of the information is the addresses and everything, phone numbers and so on and so forth, are all on DFAS.mil's website.
Mhm.
You can get all that information up there for getting your estimated earnings. You get that back. It's going to take a while for them to run the numbers, but then for every year, whatever rank you were at, you're going to get an earnings number. You'll have your estimated earnings. You put that together with another form. Again, this is Defense Department, but it's a standard form 3108 for FERS, or a 2803 for CSRS. That's going to go off to your benefits center, your human resources. Now, for Army, that's the Army Benefits Center Civilian at Riley, Kansas, but they're, all the services, this information is available through your HR function. You send that out there, and they will create a ticket with DFAS to calculate what you're going to owe, that percentage plus nominal interest from the time that you separated. And then once you get that number back, it's going to show up on your leave and earnings statement, and you make arrangements with your payroll to get those deductions started. Or you can fill out a check and send it right into Treasury, post 56 buyback. It's got your social on it. Boom, done. And then you get a letter informing you that you've paid your time back, and then that'll be credited on your standard form 50, which is basically sort of like your notification of personnel action. And then there you go, right? So, and depending upon what your high 3 looked like, because it's year for year, so you get 1.1% for FERS or 1% for CSRS stacked right on top of your time. That can be a big number. Now, you could still do this even if you retired, right? But if you retired and say you were in higher O grades like 04, 05, it might not pay you to buy your time back because it's going to offset your military pay, your military retirement pay. So
yeah, 04, I'm glad you brought that up because
but let's say you were sergeant first class or something like that. Yeah, it might be worth it. Yeah. Might be worth it.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I was just going to ask you that. Like, if you're already retired,
you can do it.
Should I even do this? Yeah,
you can do it, but you got to be 05 and below.
Now, is there a scenario where when you are retired already from active duty, and they could potentially take away your active duty pay or your active duty retirement pay?
Not all of it. Not all of it. It's an offset. So again, depending upon what rank you retired at and how many years time of service you had, it might bite into it a little bit, but it's not going to take all of it by no stretch. But it could be significant if, say, you were in 04 and 05 and you retired.
Yeah,
now that could be significant. But like I was saying, my friend and colleague who had 10 years in, he didn't retire. He separated, but he didn't have to leave that time on the table. He was able to buy it back.
Excellent, man. Yeah, that's something I wouldn't want to happen, right? Somebody take away the retirement pay. So, because I mean, when you go when I went into federal service, it was just kind of like, hey, let me try this out, extra paycheck. Let's see how it goes. I don't want to lose out on something potentially. But no, that's great. That's great. You mentioned that. Yeah,
that's the caveat right there. Is you got to be careful. Run your numbers carefully, and then there's no penalty for them running the numbers, right? Even getting up to the point where it gets added onto your LES. If you don't buy the time back, you don't buy it back. Mm-hmm. It's up to you. I had another colleague of mine who retired recently. He took the DRP. That's the deferred resignation program that's been offered in a few rounds last year. He was getting ready to go anyway, but he had some time, and he elected not to buy it back. He didn't think it was worth it. I question that decision personally, but hey, it's everybody's got to make the determination themselves,
Yeah, there was a lot of people that took that DRP, man. A lot of folks.
Yeah,
At least in
absolutely.
my department too.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're running it, but
It's all over the place. Yeah. And I would say probably one of the main things that stopped me was I hadn't bought my time back yet.
yeah. I mean,
And I got
me personally, I
7
was
years.
like,
I got 7 years active federal service. It's 7%. I'm not leaving that on the table.
no, hell no. I mean, I
Yeah.
was only in for
All the
what,
fake
6,
people.
7 months. I'm not, it didn't really matter for me.
Yeah. Right. Well, greener pastures may lie ahead. Never know.
They usually do.
They
Is there,
usually
as far as the buyback is concerned, with the amount of money you have to pay to buy that time back, just for clarity, so folks understand who may be
Sure.
curious about it. Does that, like, that price fluctuate any, or is there, when they determine that price, is there any kind of external influences that might raise or lower that price?
It doesn't, it never goes down, like any tax, I guess, never really goes down, but it might go up based on the length of time between when you separated and then when
Mhm.
they do the computation. That's that nominal interest that I was talking about, that they might stack on top of it,
Okay.
on top of what your earnings were. But in general, let's say neglecting interest, say you made 50K over the course of 3 years, you're paying $1,500, or no, let me do the numbers again. Yeah, $1,500
Yeah.
to get back 3 years, 3%, 3.3% of your high 30 for FERS, or 3% for CSRS. That could be a very big number. You get toward the higher GS grades and steps. Could be a
Yeah.
quite a large number. I mean, it could pay itself back in a year or less.
Yeah. I mean, a step increase would well cover that, right?
Wipe it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's almost like budget dust from that perspective. So yeah, generally it's that 3% or 7% for CSRS. That's the main planning factor there.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. I mean, I thought it was a
No,
lot higher than that.
it's one of the best kept secrets out there in civil service. I don't know why they don't tell more people about this stuff, but they don't. I had to learn it the hard way. I've already bought some of my time back, but the bulk of it, no, I have not. So I'm actually very close to getting my number back. So
I think the less people you tell about it, the less people use it, the less the government has to pay.
I did leave one detail out, and this was discovery learning for me too, right? So they must have changed the requirements on me, because the last time I bought some of my time back, this was not a thing, but now it is. So DFAS will require, on top of what I had outlined before, from your HR function, your DD-214s, your estimated earnings. You'll have to get with your human resources command for your respective service or agency, and you're going to have to get what is called a military buyback validation of service. It's a memo. You put in a ticket with your human resources command, and send in your DD-214s. They prepare this memo for you, and it isn't just the time. I should have pointed this out. The character of service has to be honorable, or you can't buy it back. That's key. You say you got out of general or honorable, something like that. It's got to be honorable, or you cannot buy it back.
Okay. So that brings up an interesting point. And is it possible, or do you know of, maybe you've dug into this, maybe you haven't, is it possible for somebody to get out other than honorable but still favorable, and be able to kind of go back and fight that and reverse that back to an honorable status?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with all the nuances there. Since
Are you talking about, John, like having appealed it and then in the middle of an appeal, like through the review board, discharge review board?
Yeah. Because I see it on the VA side a lot, and a lot of questions have been coming up lately in my radar of people who are other non-honorable. They got PTSD, VA claim, adjudicated and it was good and they were paying them the money. And then at some point they went and pulled all the money back, or they denied all the other claims or something like that based on the other non-honorable status. And then so it becomes that kind of question: can they go back and appeal it and get honorable status?
I guess under circumstances like that, and I'm not familiar, have not been in that region. Does that update your DD 214 if you get if you win the appeal?
If you appeal it and then they give you a new discharge, it should.
Yeah,
they go back. Now, there are times where, and I'm kind of putting my kind of military justice hat on here really quick. There's times where at least an enlisted person would have different periods of service, and each period of service gives you essentially a new DD 214, right? You leave service after one enlistment, and then you re-enlist again. So that portion, that enlistment, would be an honorable enlistment. Now, the subsequent one might be other than honorable or dishonorable. So I'm wondering, you can't have any negative one on in your career, or can it just be reflected off of that one honorable period?
Yeah. So if you've had negative ones, you just can't count those.
Okay, got it.
Any of the ones that are honorable, any of the ones that are honorable, separate periods of service, those are eligible for buyback. And and I guess if on appeal, if they update that block on the DD 214 and it says character of service honorable, that's it. You're golden.
Yeah, as long as the paperwork that you turn in, I suppose, says honorable on there, because you can turn one in from years ago that says honorable, but your current one is like OTH.
Well, so I'll tell you what. This is kind of a funny story. You caused a synapse to fire there. One of the DD 214s I sent in on the ticket to DFAS, it was the wrong copy. It wasn't the service copy. It was the member copy. And so it didn't have the character of service on it. And so they kicked my ticket back. And I couldn't figure out, why did they kick my ticket back? And then I happened to look at it and compared it to all the other DD 214s. And I'm like, oh, crap, it's the wrong one. So then I was able to go up in the personnel system, download the right copy, and then send that off to them. And then everything was good. But yeah, I was kind of like, why do they keep kicking this thing back? It's lengthening. They keep moving the goalposts, it felt like. And so I kind of sabotaged myself there, but that's important takeaway. So I guess if on appeal you can get that character service block updated, in that case you would be good to go.
Yeah, I mean, that was just kind of an admin error, right? Just submitting the wrong one.
That's all it was. I got the wrong copy given to me when I redeployed. So I was at the demob station, and they gave me the wrong copy. So then I had to go up in my personnel system and download the right one. Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
It's touch and go there for a little bit, but believe it or not, iPerms actually worked. It was scary. That's the Army's personnel system. Yeah, it's for some years there was like chitty chitty bang bang, but all the records are actually up there.
I mean, at least it wasn't microfiche, right?
It didn't let me down. No, one of them was. But I had that one. I'm kind of dating myself. That was 1988.
I still have microfiche stuff as well. So
that'll happen.
That's an important thing. And that's one of the things, whether it's retirement for getting your pension, or retirement for getting your BA status, or retirement for just getting across the retirement finish line. It's like, you really got to download. I mean, Vic is the poster child for putting together documentation for everything. And I mean, literally like tabbing it out, making it, nice and neat and organized.
Wow.
Myself. Mine's just a big pile of stuff inside of some binder.
I got books after books after books, and it's all chronological, but to tab it out, it's like reading through the haystack there.
That's some OCD on another level.
If I don't do it, then I lose my place, and then I get pissed off, and then I got to go back and redo it all over again. So I just know I figured out the system. I figured out what works.
Yeah, you got to do what works for you. But a lot of vets out there, they don't keep I Love Me books at all. Yeah. And so when they say on the DD-214, this is an important document, safeguard it, they are not kidding.
Yeah. Like Firebox safeguard it.
Yeah. I mean, it is really a critical document for so many of the things that you just outlined there, John.
Yeah. And just to address a comment in the chat there from U.S. Army Grunt. Yeah. So depending on if you were, I think you get them at reenlistment as well too, right? Depending on whatever the situation was or whatever epoch happened. Myself and Joe both went back and forth on and off active duty, reserve time. You did guard time as well. So in that case, we always got, if it was, what was it, 30 days, I believe was the cutoff to be eligible for Title 10 DD-214. You had to have at least 30 days.
I thought it was 9 at 31. I think it's 31.
31.
Not the cut.
Right.
Otherwise, you get a DD-220, which,
exactly.
By the way, the DD-220 is useless for buying time back. You just lose that time. That's it. It's gone. Poof.
So yeah, if you happen to be in a guard or Title 32 status at any point and you came back on active duty for, say, service school, or you did some training for, a few weeks at a time that went over the 31-day threshold, then you were supposed to get a DD-214, and it wasn't always automatic. Sometimes you had to go and ask. Sometimes you had to go hound the HR section. Sometimes you had to go hunt down your supervisor and take them with you to see the leadership. So in a lot of cases, there's been a few DD-214s that I've actually missed because they didn't automatically do the paperwork.
Really?
But I think I got a lot of that fixed, and they kind of they did the what do they do? They did like a deep dive, and they looked through my records, and they looked through like the duty stations and the orders, and they were able to corroborate that stuff and get that all points wise at least.
Well, that's good.
Figured out. But yeah, so multiple DD-214s is a thing. I believe at reenlistment you get those as well. I don't remember 100%, but I think yes.
Yep.
And then yeah, any big event that happens where you're changing some kind of status from first term enlistment to second term enlistment, or if you go to reserves and then back to
active duty. When you go warrant, for instance, right? You get a DD-214 then.
Exactly, because you actually become a reservist for a short period of time in between.
Very short period of time. So they ETS you, and then they swear you, and then they point you, just like that. Yeah.
Yep. So,
yeah, there was always that time during the reenlistments, at least when I was younger, and you'd be sitting there taking or doing your whole reenlistment thing, and they say you're now a civilian between getting reenlisted and getting, I guess, there's a period there, a couple seconds before you actually do the thing.
Right.
Yep. Is there anything you want to say? Anybody want to call out at this moment while you're a civilian? Yes. Never happened, but they always joke that way. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that to myself. Not right now. Not yet.
Yeah, don't self-eliminate. Yeah.
No, hell no. Yes, we got another guy here, GC Jarhead. All his records are also microfiche, almost all illegible.
Oh yeah, there we go.
They took the last carbon copy in the stack and scanned.
Oh wow. Copy 5. Remember, can't even read this thing.
Got like handprints on the side. Yeah, I can imagine.
A little circle.
Oh no. Here's an interesting question from U.S. Army Grunt, and kind of a little bit off topic, but didn't know that you had a. Or no, that wasn't one. It was GC Jarhead. Does the Fed TSP remaining / unused balance expire with the death of the Fed employee, surviving spouse, or those funds distributed to the estate? That's a great question.
That is a very good question. It is crucially important for you to identify who your survivor benefits are going to accrue to. That's not just like for your last check or anything like that, but with the TSP and by percentage as well. So any family members, you can allocate different percentages to them. Most folks, okay, if you're married, 100%, spouse, great, too easy. But everybody's situation is a little different. maybe some of it's going to an X or something like that. You've got all sorts of percentages on these forms. Yeah, your contribution to her war effort. But yeah, so it's if you die, I believe the term is intestate, without having designated a survivor, it goes to your estate, and then your surviving relatives will have to go to probate court, and that will cost them a lot of money
and time
and pain. So by all means, get your survivors designated soon as possible, once you become vested. And then, so this is something fun too. Although Jarhead didn't ask this question, you leave federal service before you retire. You got the TSP sitting there, your balance. You can roll that, if you wish, into an IRA, or you can leave it with the TSP. It just depends on what you want to do, how you want to do it. As 401ks go, the TSP has a remarkably low management fee. It's less than 0.05%. And try and find a passive fund that has a management fee that small. Good luck. Plus, the TSP is managed by one of the best investing houses on the planet. That's BlackRock. They're just stellar.
Yeah, TSPs have been making some waves recently.
Yes, indeed. There are a lot of TSP millionaires running around out there.
Yes, there are a lot of 2 comma clubs.
Yep,
I see them. No, it's exciting, man. Because when you leave the service, you have your TSP. You got this chunk of money, and then, I went through it. I talked to folks who have gone through it too. Like, what do I do with that? Can you roll it over? Do you just let it ride? Do you allocate funds different ways? I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know if you two gentlemen are, but I'm not going to give anybody financial advice.
I won't do
I'll
that.
tell you that.
I only advise myself, and I do a pretty poor job of it, I guess. But
yeah.
I will tell you this, you just gotta, you've got to put those funds in there according to your own risk appetite. Everybody's different, but here's a little trick I learned on deployment. I actually thought this one up myself. You're deployed and you're in a combat zone, right? So you get combat zone tax exclusion. They take the money out, you get the money back in your next check, right? So what I did, and like I said, I'm usually not this clever, but instead of putting my funds into the traditional, which is what I'd been doing when I was just a drilling guardsman, right? I swapped it over to Roth, which is post-tax contribution.
Yep.
I would pay taxes on that, and then I'd get the money back in my CZTE. So essentially, I was putting money in a Roth for no taxes. Yeah.
Interesting.
So anybody looking to deploy out there, you can.
Yeah.
You heard it here. Feel free to leapfrog off of that one, because it does work.
It's double tax free.
Yeah, it's tax free, and it's in a Roth, so you're never going to pay taxes on it.
Exactly.
Should be illegal, but it's not.
Hey, if you can find something that works out for you, might as well
make it work for you. Yeah, that's the main thing about military service, right? Don't leave anything on the table. That's what I tell these kids, right?
Yeah. They take so much from us in taxes. Might as well just see where you can fit in.
And they take it out on your body and everything else. Yeah, you might as well get everything you can get.
Absolutely.
Anyway, we seemed to strayed somewhat afield there. Ran down a rabbit hole or two.
No, all good, man.
That's really all I came on to talk about today.
Excellent, man. You've got some deep knowledge on this stuff, man, and I really do appreciate it, because I've written a couple things down, and I'm going to go sit down with my wife and talk to her about it. The active duty to Federal Employee Buyback, and gave some percentages there. Just I do appreciate the information you're putting out there for folks.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, if it helps you guys out,
it
bravo.
does. And, and we've got some good comments from folks in the chat here too. The reenlistment thing that they didn't know about, a couple other things too.
It's all intertwined. Well, I appreciate you gents having me back on. Thanks very much.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's been it's good to catch back up with you again. Hopefully one of these days soon, maybe we'll catch back up in real life, hopefully.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Where are you at? What time zone do you find yourself in these days?
Over in Sicily, man. So I'm about 6 or 7 hours ahead, depends where you're sitting at.
Awesome.
But,
good for you.
But quick hop from Dover, I'll tell you that. So
yep. All right.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Happy birthday to your wife.
Thank you. I'll let her know.
Happy birthday to your wife as well. I remember the text you sent over. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I was debating whether I was going to be here today, and then the internet decided I wasn't going to be here today, so I had to fight it as well.
Well, dude, I'm glad you're here. Nonetheless, glad you are. Super Bowl today. Do they celebrate? Do they watch the Super Bowl over in Italy? I'm sure they do on base.
They do on base. Off the base, not really a thing. On the base, I know they're going to have a gathering here locally. I don't know when the party's starting. It's probably going to be late night into the early morning, and then they usually just give everybody the Monday off in a lot of cases, I think. So
the party starts when John shows up. That's when it starts, man. That's the right answer. Oh, no. Oh man, Boston Rob. Yeah, of course. He says, "Go Pats, go Pats." Yeah. I'm just glad it's not the freaking Chiefs again. They were in there for a minute. Yeah, not. I mean, none of these are my team anyway. So I'm just there. I'm along for the ride.
Yeah, I would definitely tune in to watch the commercials and see how the marketing departments are doing out there this year for those $6 to $8 million commercials.
The commercials. Make sure you bust out your Duolingo for Bad Bunny as well.
Yeah, I think Mr. Beast is going to put a commercial out as well on Super Bowl Sunday.
Mr. Beast. Dude, the amount of emails I see from like Mr. Beast stuff because I signed up to something, or maybe you signed up to something. I don't know, but it's all over the emails. I'm like, what is this? The Beast store? This guy doesn't need anything else. Come on now.
No, I'm trying to learn. Oh, man. Trying to learn marketing the best way I can, and that's one way is to follow the people who are killing it. So, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Figuring out, I guess, beyond all this that we talked about, just figuring out, like, I think a couple people mentioned in the chat, getting your TSP, if you plan on moving it out of the TSP, getting it through a custodian to a 401k or whatever investment vehicle or position that you want to put your money into. I guess that's the only final kind of wrap the bow on it kind of thought that I can think of as far as the investment stuff. Yeah, I'm hoping this bill gets some traction. I'm hoping it gets passed. I would love to dive back into TSP and be able to go in there and throw some money into that, because like Joe mentioned, like that's super, super low management fees. You got a really nice, easy control of your money. You can move things around pretty easily. You used to be able to move them around willy-nilly, right? You used to be able to go in there every day, just move stuff around back and forth.
That's it.
And then
I mean, you can still do that right now, but I mean, when there's nothing else coming in, you're just playing with the money that you have in there for the meantime, just kind of shuffling things around. For folks out there who don't know what John is talking about here, it's HR 4996, the Forward Act. So that would allow retirees, and I think folks with 100% VA disability, to start contributing to their TSP. Right now, it was introduced in August of 2025. There's no further traction on it. Actually, I'll put it up on the screen here so folks know what the heck I'm looking at. So there you go, HR 4996. And Yeah, that's all it is. Just if you all want to track something like this, there is you can log in. You can get alerts right here. Get alerts, and it'll send you an email on whatever you want. Um, Pretty easy to do, but yeah, so you can track this stuff as soon as it goes from introduced to passed House, passed Senate to President, becomes law. Hopefully, it goes that route. Then it'll give you updates on all along the way. But yeah, this is good stuff. It would be great if this thing passes. So I'm following this one pretty close myself.
Yep. And I see a comment here. Somebody just put in here. What did they say? They also gave the option to roll a certain amount into the Roth this year.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah. No, it'd be really awesome to be able to recontribute to that and get back in the TSP game, because TSP is it's pretty damn good. I won't say it's the best thing on the planet, but it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, as of right now, like I have the TSP still. I'm still rolling stuff around, from here to there, just kind of following where things are going. And for the longest time, I was just letting things ride, and that's fine.
Yep.
I mean, you can see, depending on how risky you want, again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not trying to tell you where to put your money. But that's exactly what I did. I've got a few years before I actually fully retire. So there's a certain level of risk that I'm willing to take. I started moving things around, a little bit more risky. And, I've seen a couple points, a couple dollars in there, so that's good. It would be nice to be able to contribute to it again without having to go back into federal service, but it is what it is. I don't know if I'm willing to go back into federal service right now. I mean, I'm not going to put that out there yet, but I'm still on the lookout. I would love to go the VA route and help out there. Aside from that, I don't know what else kind of fits my expertise, if you will.
So they did just drop a thing the other day, and I actually sent an email. I don't know if you saw that email that went out. I sent an email to the VA, I guess the media people at the VA. They just sent out a thing literally a couple days ago where they have opened up a big hiring push for, I think they're trying to get 300 new employees into the VRE counseling spots that are open across the country. And so that hiring push is open now. I'm trying to get them on. If they respond back, if they decide they want to come on or not and talk about it, that's up to them. But either way, it's VA information and VRE information for folks looking for employment. They're pushing really hard to get another 300 VRE specialists out there into the field to help folks who are doing VRE stuff, like myself, Vic, especially trying to get a good VRE counselor or get better VRE resources available quicker, at least.
No, I'll give you an update on that. VRE counselor got back to me, gave me the PO numbers for the school. The university hooked me up with a new counselor after I emailed everybody from the dean on down. And, essentially saying, hey, what the hell's going on here? I've been waiting for 2 months and have heard crickets. And, they got back to me. They're saying, hey, look, you can start. Actually, it was on Wednesday. I got a call from the school counselor on Wednesday. It was probably at noon. She's like, hey, we got a class tonight. Can you make it tonight at 6? I'm like, what? No, like I have things to do, right? Appointments. I got things to do. I got to take my kid here and there. I'm like, this is some real last minute stuff, but no, I'm not available. Can we start March? And they're like, yeah, we can start March. That's fine. Because if I would have started on a Wednesday, I would have been behind an assignment already. I'm not doing that to myself. So March it is. Already got everything situated, ready to roll. Human behavior psychology. Here I come.
Nice.
Happy about that.
Yeah, man. I'm happy for you.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. Real quick, to answer Drew 8979's question here. If you are already a GS employee and you leave government employee, you still can contribute under this bill. Well, let's pull up this bill here real quick. So
don't think so. I think it's just for retirees who have done 20 years of active federal service, who were then able to still see their TSP but not contribute to it, would then be able to potentially start contributing again to their TSP. I think that's who it's directed at. I didn't see any other verbiage in there to.
So I'm going to read this directly from this here. Any individual who is a former member of the Uniformed Services and who is entitled to retired pay under Chapter 71 of Title 10, or who is in receipt of any compensation under Article or under Section 1114 of Title 38 for a disability rated at 100%, and who is not an employee, may elect to contribute a portion of such pay or compensation to the Thrift Savings Fund. So that's the criteria that they're looking at there. So if you're already a GS employee and you leave government employment, I guess you have to be one of those two things: 100% VA disabled, rated 100% VA disabled, or a former member of the Uniformed Services who is retired under Title 10.
Yep.
So if you're one of those two things, you, my friend,
Are
may
good to go.
contribute once this thing passes, of course.
Yeah.
GC Jarhead, VRD difficulties, say it ain't so. It is so, man. It is. As I think I mentioned it yesterday on the live stream, and I truly appreciate everybody who came on the live stream last night. I normally don't do evening live streams, but I was editing some videos and I was watching another live stream, and then I thought, maybe let me wait till this guy's live stream is over, and then, so I don't take away from his stuff, and start this one for whatever reason, just hanging out. Yes, VRD difficulties. I was supposed to start in August of 2025, and it didn't happen. Partly because of my own fault, because after I left government service, I decided not to go forward with an MPA and moved over to the behavioral side, the psychology side after the fact. So my dreams are crushed, Jarhead. My dreams are crushed, man. But yeah, that's a story. Drew, you are welcome, man. Absolutely. And I would tell you, man, if you can, if you fit that criteria, follow HR 4996. Put that on your list for alerts.
Yeah, it's good to watch those bills move and watch how slowly they move in a lot of cases, and actually see how the government actually works and why it takes such a long time. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good way to keep up with things.
And I shared the link on here on the comments. Somebody had asked earlier, I think Stephanie Herring had asked earlier, how do you request DD-214 records? I think she mentioned that her husband passed away. The link here, I'll put it out here again. If anybody's interested, here's the link to request DD-214 records. I know sometimes those things get lost, and nowadays everything's kind of digital, so I have it all digitally, but some folks don't have that. So you can request it through that link right there.
Mm-hmm.
Easy.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Aside from that, man, what else you got going on today?
That's pretty much it, man. I gotta hop off here in a little bit and go get ready and go do dinner, go do family dinner, and happy birthday to my wife. And that's the rest of the evening for me. And then it's back to school and midterms and work and all kinds of other fun stuff this week.
Too much fun, man. You're having too much fun out there.
Yeah. Stay busy.
Real quick, Drew 8979's question here. So you can elect a portion of VA disability into TSP. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Let me see. An election to contribute to the Thrift Savings Fund. I'm just reading the bill here. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't say otherwise, unless they've written something in there different from that. But I figure if you're not a retiree and you're 100% VA disabled, because it does have the word "or," and of course the words mean things. You have to be retired or under Title 38 rated 100% disabled, you can contribute to that. So I'm willing to go out and say that potentially, yes, if you have that VA disability, then you should be able to contribute to the TSP once the Forward Act gets passed, because it does have the word "or" in there. If it said "and," it'd be a different story.
And that would potentially, I mean, GCJR had brought it up. That would be potentially one of those situations we just talked about a few minutes ago, where you have tax-free money already, and then you can take that and throw it into a Roth potentially, and it's completely tax-free at that point.
Just staying tax-free. That would be nice.
Nuts.
Yeah, and just let your tax-free money grow, or not, depending on where you are, depending on what you do. Dude, there's a couple groups that I came across on Facebook.
Okay.
And when I was looking at, like, when I was learning about the TSP and all that stuff, there's a couple groups out there. I'm not going to name the groups, right? You have to go out there and do your own research on this, because I'm not trying to. I don't know how great these groups are, but they have like strategies.
Okay.
And what you do is, somebody at the top, some admin or somebody mentions, hey, this is where you should move your TSP funds around to. And people do that. Like, thousands of people move their stuff to different strategies. Like, hey, I'm going to go move this much to the I fund or the C fund, the S fund this time. And some folks have some luck with it. I'm not sure. I don't know how it works. I don't know how they can time it. I don't know how they can, based on historical data, I suppose, or what's happening in the market. But it seems a little iffy to me. Yeah. But I have come across that, and there's like thousands of people that do this thing. So I thought, let me look at this a little bit more. I've not moved my stuff around according to that, but I'm just curious. I'm like lurking in the background, just watching, like this. Just Skull Crusher says he's got his DD214 blanket. That's awesome, man. You got to get that DD214 underwear, dude. That's where it's at. Come on now.
DD214 blanket. I think I've seen these before, but I got to look this up.
Yeah, they have this whole blanket. I don't know if you can get it customized with your information on it, but yeah, people are all snuggled when people post like, man, I got 05 PT, or I got to go out to the field. They're like, no, not me, man. I'm here snuggled up in my DD214 blanket. Let me see. GC Jarhead says, I'm all in on the Ramsey plan. Paid off $63,000 worth of debt over the last 16 months. That's awesome, man. Congratulations.
Beautiful, man.
The debt snowball. The debt snowball is working for you, buddy. And that's just so Ramsey put a name to it, but it's like a very simple idea.
Yeah.
Just pay off your small debts and just get rid of those things first, and then just move up, right? The last thing is, your mortgage potentially, because that's the biggest expense that people have every month, a few thousand these days, right? But just pay off little things. Don't have that stuff, hanging over your head. That's the way to do it. Baby steps. Yes. The baby steps. I like that.
Baby steps, and then building the habit, right? I mean, that's where a lot of people fall off the wagon. That's why people do New Year's resolutions, and then on February 1st, they're pretty much poof, disappear.
Yeah, man. That's why I don't really use any credit cards anymore, man, for the most part, unless I really have to. I mean, for what? For points?
For points mainly. Yeah.
That shouldn't be a driving factor. I mean, to each his own. It's not a driving factor for me. I don't get enough points to justify my mental state. I got to know that I have zero debt, and that's just me.
Yeah.
I don't like knowing that I owe somebody else money or some company money.
I don't like that either.
No. Let's see. Pre-retirement moves. Yes. Yeah, that's huge, man. I'm glad you brought that up, GC Jarhead. Pre-retirement moves, even like in regular retirement as well as military retirement. Whenever somebody asked me, or just hey, what was the best thing that you did when you were retiring? I tell them, hey, look, aside from prepping for retirement, it was getting out of debt. You don't want to start that next chapter of your life knowing that you have this debt looming or hanging over your head, and you still have to work to pay it off. I'm like, if I still had that debt, I probably would have stayed active duty and paid it off until I didn't have anything, so I can start off clean. Let's see here. That's an emergency. Yeah, that's good. It's an emergency card. Keep it as an emergency card. That's awesome.
Yep.
Found the DD-214 blanket on Etsy that allows you to add whatever details on the form that you want.
Beautiful.
I wonder if anybody has ever, if you can customize it, like we talked with Joe, if they've ever done like the dishonorable discharge, DD-214, or customize it with an other than honorable discharge, DD-214. Love from Australia.
Wow.
The down under. Right on.
Hey, Rick. How you going? Welcome. Damn.
My buddy called me from OCS this morning. He's having fun. Yeah, OCS sounds like fun. It's where's OCS is in that's Navy's. Navy's is in Newport, Rhode Island. I never went to OCS. I did the warrant officer route, so I bypassed the OCS and went straight to the basic school with all the other officers. So didn't have to do all that. OCS, or that might be Quantico, right? OCS. Let me see. IRS is concerned. The big chicken dinner blanket. Yeah, that's right. Big chicken dinner. The BCD blanket. Quantico. Yeah, Quantico. There you go. I appreciate it, Rick. Thank you very much for that, man.
Yeah, man.
See, the thing about Quantico and even OCS or TBS, Quantico gets freezing, man. So we were during TBS, the basic school. It's 4 months for warrant officers and 6 months for regular commissioned officers, second lieutenants and above. And the TBS is located in Stafford, Virginia, and it is freezing, man. And I remember like taking my PFT, my personal fitness test or physical fitness test, and it was snowing, and you can't wear like hoodies or anything, right? You got to wear like your green sweatshirt and your green pants or whatever.
Yep.
Sweatpants, freezing, dude. And I was coming from, a warm location. It was terrible. But, you get used to it. The worst times are when you're getting out of the sleeping bag, when you're in the field, you're getting out of the sleeping bag in the morning, there's frost on your sleeping bag, and you did not sleep with your camis, with your uniform in the sleeping bag. So it's outside, it's frozen stiff.
Yeah.
And you're shivering, trying to put the pants on. It's cold as hell. I hate that stuff.
No.
Can't do the cold, man.
I can do it. I mean, if I grew up around cold, but I don't like cold. I think my warrant school, the APFT or whatever it was, the PT test was the first one was in like we started doing the indoor stuff, the push-ups and sit-ups and all that stuff. And then as soon as we walked out the door, a lightning storm, just like lightning bolts everywhere.
That's when you knew it was time.
And they were like, I don't think we're doing this today. All right, cool. Sounds good.
Yeah. Got to switch it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see here. Definitely upping my TSP contributions when I deploy overseas. I would do the same, to be honest. Yep. I would do the same. Probably one of the best things I ever did was go all in and max out the TSP. The last few years with my Marine Corps career, and it has just grown significantly since then. I mean, if you can do it, why not? If you're like dual income, you have the ability to do that stuff. Not turning back. Hey, welcome back, man. Not turning back, 84. I try to stay away from debt traps. I've bought old vehicles. I could work on engines and repairs. 2003 Hummer H2, rebuilt the transmission on that. 2003 Ford Excursion, paid down credit card debt. That's awesome. What you save on the cars, you pay for on the gas, it seems like.
Yeah.
But the Hummer and a freaking Excursion, dude, that Excursions are insanely huge, man. They're like buses. He said he's never been happier to be in IHOP. No, man, it's all about the Waffle House at 2 a.m. That's where it's at. Let's see. I opted for commission to CWO2 in the Navy before I retired, but they eliminated the warrant for security officers that year and didn't have the time to apply for LDO. Timing is everything. It is. I saw that they just put a CWO5 in the Air Force, the first one they've had in, I don't know, like 50 years or something.
Yeah.
That is something. But the thing is, they brought over a guy from the Army to fit into the Air Force.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you're going to have to create one from internally, but they didn't have enough, right?
Yeah,
And
they just started
I don't think
the warrant program again, like maybe a year or two ago. Yeah, just recently.
They did. And good on them too, because warrants are subject matter experts as well. So good on that. Let's see. That military star card helped me build my credit, and now my credit is hell yeah, man. That's awesome. Great credit score.
Yeah, man.
Nice. The military star card.
I'd love to know how many years you got left. I mean, you don't have to tell us if you don't want to, but it sounds like you still got a little while left in the military, man. So it's great to have you here either way, but hopefully we can help you out. If you listen to us long enough, you'll get some nuggets out of some of the conversations. Sometimes we just ramble and talk our shit, but most of the time we're spitting out some good information for you. So yeah, man.
Yeah. Star card was that was a good piece of gear, man. I have mine somewhere. I'm sure it's expired. I don't know. Yeah, good stream, guys. Good information. Thanks. Simplify, mofo. Simplify back. That seemed to be a thing in the later years of my career. Simplify MF.
Yeah.
And then for some reason I was at work. I was sitting there. I was like filling out some paperwork or whatever I had to turn in, and I overheard one of the sergeants outside in the hallway say, "Hey, make sure that the Chiwo gets this." And I had never heard that before, the Chiwo. And then I just let it ride, whatever. And then I got a knock at the door, and it was a staff sergeant saying, "Excuse me, Chiwo." I'm like, "What the fuck? What? What the hell did you just say?" I'm like, "Where did that come from? Like, I've never heard that, so things changed. And I'm like, if I let this thing ride, it's gonna be a thing, and I don't want it to be a thing. So I don't know. Is Chiwo? I mean, for folks that are still in uniform, I've been retired for 2 years. Is Chiwo a thing? Let's see.
Not for me, it's not.
No, hell no. Divorce is a bit of child support, a few bad decisions here and there, and debt. And I go out to drink on Friday nights. Man, your life is like a movie, dude.
Yep.
Start panting like a dog. Not today. You do it first.
Right.
Man, yeah, all good stuff. Vehicles, protection, SoCal. Yes, you need big 4x4 vehicles for protection in SoCal. People can't drive. Yes, they cannot drive. They have this thing called the California stop, or I don't know, the SoCal stop. I don't know, and where you don't stop. You just roll through the freaking stop sign. And I hate that shit. I hate it. I purposely run towards the stop sign when I see somebody coming. I'll sprint and then try to jump on their hood to see if they'll stop. But usually they stop then. I'm not that fast either. So never heard of Chiwo. Yeah, Chiwo is, I don't know. People just started calling me that. And I'm like, yeah, I don't like it. Don't know how I feel about that.
By virtue of not liking it and mentioning it 17 times, then you're going to bring it back into swing and it's going to become a thing.
Yeah, right. I'm working against myself. Yeah. And, I wasn't aware when I went to an Army school at one point. It was in Virginia. And they called me Mister. Like some enlisted dude, some staff sergeant. I don't know what he was.
Yep.
He's like, Mister. And I'm like, hmm? He's like, oh, yeah, that's what we call our chief warrant officers, our warrants.
Some, yeah.
Yeah. Mister.
There's some aviators out there that do not like being called chief.
Really?
Not even a little bit. Yep. I've met a bunch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's like the laid back lifestyle of the aviators. Because I know, like in the Marine Corps, they're kind of like that too. And I mean, I'd call folks above my rank sir or ma'am, and they're like, dude, it's freaking Steve, man. He's like, don't put that on me. And I'm like, all right, cool, man, Steve.
Cool, Steve.
But around other, Marines or whatever, I'd give them the proper greeting or whatever, sir.
Yep.
But yeah, a very laid back lifestyle the aviator community is. With that, I think we might be good. What do you think, John? You got anything else to pass here?
No, man, I'm good. Just everybody out there, appreciate you watching, paying attention. Oh, we didn't mention, we had a couple things to mention. So if you are looking at your TSP, moving things around, trying to figure out investments after the military, or if you want an additional alternate investing vehicles, other ways to invest your money, or want to try to figure out how to get a little bit closer to a debt-free lifestyle, we do have a great partnership with our friend Josh over at MVMT Financial. And he is a really good source, really smart guy, certified, credited, and he will take your phone call, take your text message, take your LinkedIn notification for free initially, and sit down and chat with you. He's trying to get in touch with people or have people get in touch with him if they need anything military forward, retired military member. And he's building this business with his wife, and they're doing really great things out there for the military community, and specifically when it comes to anything financial, whether that's life insurance, health insurance, investments, things of those natures. So give Josh a ring.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got Josh, and he's also former Army as well, retired.
Yep.
So he's definitely looking out for the community here. So shout out to Josh over at MVNT, which I assume is movement, right?
Movement.
MVNT Financial. Let's see, I'm going to bring a couple folks on here who give them a quick shout out. Let me stop sharing this here and see if this thing will ever reload. Maybe not, maybe so. We don't know. Oh, here we go. So let me bring this guy up to the screen here. Another one of the partners, at least for the Green Logbook side here, it's American Fidelity Life Insurance, partnered up with that company recently. And it's big thing is we only like to work with veteran owned, veteran operated folks, kind of vet these folks. Had some in-depth conversations with the executive team, and these folks are doing some great things. This is one of the things that I wish that I would have done when I left the service, was lock on life insurance. And I didn't do it until after my VA disability stuff and went, because you just don't know what you don't know.
Yep.
So this was great to connect with American Fidelity Life Insurance, and they kind of educated me on the process. They work with SGLIs and rollovers and all that stuff. So good stuff. Good on them. Definitely give them a ring if you're looking to do life insurance. American Fidelity Life Insurance. And want to also give a shout out to, let me take this one off the screen here. I got to learn how to do this thing a little bit more fluid, man. Want to give a shout out to Drink Wild Bills. You know, I got my little sticker here, Wild Bills. Drink Wild Bills Craft Beverage Company. So they're awesome. Again, veteran-owned company, owned by a Navy veteran, and they're actually looking to bring veterans on to operate their franchises. So if that's something you're looking at, if you're looking to go the kind of entrepreneur route and do this, hey, check out Wild Bills at drinkwildbills.com. Veteran-owned and operated, great stuff. They are all over nationwide, and they run this craft beverage thing, and they do events all over the place. They go to Sturgis and all that. So very cool folks. Definitely check them out. They're looking to bring people on. drinkwildbills.com. So with that, let's see, real quick, going to the comments really quick before we get out of here.
Yep.
Let's see, Navy cop, just under 2 years to start applying for my military retirement pay. That whole process is a bit of hidden thing, so I will research it and host this documentation on the site when I have it done. Excellent, man. Yeah, share the wealth, share the information. Absolutely. Don't call me Mr. Dammit. I work for a living. Mr. Fouot, sir, for the brass. Yeah, so I don't know. It wasn't until I went to the Army course that I started getting Mr.
Yep.
I don't know how I felt about it. You know, if it was outside of uniform, that's fine. But it was always like, I always felt like I earned the sir, right? I earned it through fucking blood, sweat, and tears and all that.
Yeah.
I earned the blood bars, as I call it, in the Marine Corps. Right? It's kind of gold or silver with the little red in there. So I earned the blood bars. Yeah. So very, very, I held that sir very close to heart there. With that, yeah, it definitely sounds like an Army thing. Yeah, it is. It is. You know what else the Army has is, isn't your CWO4s? Don't they have like the 4 little squares there, and then the 5 is just the line?
Yeah, the 5 is a lightsaber.
The lightsaber. That's right. So it's different in the Marine Corps too, because it's not. I think the 4s are. I want to say it's gold with 3. I can't recall. I'd have to look at it again. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank here. I should know. Shit. I mean, that was my next rank, right? And I decided to retire.
Yeah.
I would have been next up for that. But yeah, it's a lot different when I saw the 4s in the Army. I'm like, oh, it makes sense, you know, to have that. Why are we different? So silver. Yeah, I think silver. Yeah, with that, John, man, it has been great. Got a lot of exciting guests coming up in the next few days. I think tomorrow, I'm not doing a live stream tomorrow, but I do have a combat artist, a Marine Corps combat artist coming on to talk about his ride, his journey. Got a chaplain who takes people across Europe. So Army chaplain takes people across Europe coming up, and just want to talk to him about his experience. He's a friar. I've not met many friars in my time, but very curious to speak to him. Got a few travel things going on, working with a few retirees and getting things happening here in California with the VFW for the most part. So curious about that, seeing how things are going to work out. But yeah, man, there's a lot of movement going on. I'm telling you, man, this YouTube thing is it's fun, John. It's fun. Check it out.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's just job takes away a lot of time. School takes away a lot of time. Once I get some of that out of the way, or maybe get the YouTube thing back up to where it needs to be, or to where it needs to be.
Yeah, man. Of course.
We'll see how it works. We'll see how it works.
Got to take care of number one, buddy.
That's right.
Of course. So with that, yeah, thank you all for joining us today on the Military Retirement Podcast.
See y'all later. Have a good Super Bowl Sunday. Go Cards.
Go who? Oh, no. All right. Take it easy, everybody.
All right, everybody out here.